What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, Sledgehammer Games has introduced the brand new aftermarket part for the weekly challenge missions, the Jack Limb Ripper. Now, this is something that I've been waiting for a decent amount of time to go ahead and obtain. The second I saw them post this on Twitter, I was like, yes, this is the one. For those who have been watching me for a while now, or if you just haven't watched me at all, I really enjoy Gears of War. Gears of War is probably one of my top favorite franchises out there. I don't really care for, obviously, the newer games, but man, back in the OG prime of Gears, I played the heck out of that game. And one of the coolest aspects of that game, even though, obviously it always goes to Nash or Meta, everybody just goes over to shotguns and starts wall bouncing, practicing that stuff. But still, when I first got into it, the chainsaws, even if it just comes down to the campaign, the chainsaws are so awesome in that game. And when I saw that they were introducing an attachable chainsaw onto your weapon in Modern Warfare 3, I said, this is the one. If there's going to be an aftermarket part that I will want to rock nonstop, this is the one. It's not a secondary chainsaw like the Doom bundle, for example. No, this is a straight up chainsaw on the bottom of your weapon that you're going to be able to run and gun with. So when I first saw them go ahead and mention this, I was just beyond excited. But then they put it in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can probably already tell, I'm not using it in this footage, and you will probably never see me use this a day in my life. And if you see gameplay, the only way I was able to get that gameplay is if I just straight up VPN'd or something, or reverse boosted like no tomorrow, dumped all my stats, and I'm playing the lowest of lows bracket. But in any other scenario, even just going up against casual players, this thing is so god-awful. I know people are going to want to hype it up. I know people are going to want to make a meme out of it. Oh, I got a chainsaw on my gun. This is fantastic. This is Call of Duty, so on and so forth. I get it. I want to as well, because I love the concept of being able to have an attachable chainsaw. But the reality is, it's absolute garbage in every way possible, and it's extraordinarily disappointing. Of course, I'll show you guys what the Jack Limb, Ripper looks like on the screen here, and the attributes. It takes away your underbarrel attachment, and it also reduces your aim down sight speeds. I'll be honest, I don't really notice too much of a reduction of my ADS speeds in this game, but naturally for all the Modern Warfare 3 guns across the board, the ADS speeds are phenomenal. I usually deck out my guns all recoil control, and I still don't get attacked when it comes to the ADS speeds. It's not like Modern Warfare 2 where literally you put on the scope and you're already screwing yourself over. This is Modern Warfare 3 now. You don't really have to worry about that stuff. So that's not the con. The con is literally, like I said, it's just simply bad. And you're replacing an underbarrel attachment, which helps with recoil. Again, I demonstrated it on the F2000 or the BP50, whatever you want to call it in Modern Warfare 3. But the gun already has no recoil. You don't have to worry about any recoil attachments. If you were to put this on any other weapon that drastically needs an underbarrel, it's not worth the trade-off. It simply is not. The problem with this Jack Limb Ripper here is it's inconsistent. First and foremost, the hitbox is horrendous while using this. When people are laying prone, you have to actually crouch in order to engage with them. It's horrifying. There is zero range to this whatsoever. Absolutely zero range. And on top of it, it's a massive delay when you want to go ahead and start it up. Over half the time, you're better off revving it up and moving towards a target instead of having it as a last-minute thing. You know someone's going to be coming around, so you want to quickly put it on and, a split-second decision. No, you have to be prepped with that bad boy if you want to go ahead and attack someone. And in a game like Call of Duty, where the time to kill, even though it's longer in this game compared to previous titles, it's still fast, you're still getting melted, you're still getting destroyed. You don't want to be sitting there slowly walking up to someone with a revved up chainsaw. No, you're going to get melted. Melted, I say. And that's my literal experience with this thing. And even when I can get people up close and personal, like I said, it's inconsistent, it's weak, it's slow. Honestly, you have a much better bet just using your secondary knife than using this. And that's where the problem lies. The whole purpose of replacing an underbarrel attachment to have a chainsaw is to give you the speed to engage with enemies. But it doesn't give you that speed. You have a better advantage just simply pulling out a secondary knife and engaging at that very moment. In its current state, this attachment is nothing but a meme. Nothing more than just a meme. I'm being so serious with you guys. There is literally zero use to it. It's not even something that you can put on in a casual match to have maybe a fun game where you do partially go off. No, you will not go off with this chainsaw. And if you do, again, you're going to have to be versing some people who must be on a very low bracket because, like I said, it's too slow. It has no range. The hit detection is absolutely horrendous on it. And you are 10 times better off using a knife. You know what I'm saying? And you get hit markers with it. I have gone into 1v1 scenarios with someone who has come up to me with a knife because that's one of the challenges you need to do. You need 10, 15 knife kills or some crap like that. And that's one of the challenges you need to do to unlock this, chainsaw attachment here. So I'm going up against people who are also trying to knife me. They beat me every time because guess what? They can lunge at me a little bit, they hit me once, and they are much quicker than me having to turn on my underbarrel, rev it up, and then hit him twice because it's not a one-hit kill. It's so useless. It's a meme. It's a joke. It's something that you're going to put on your gun to mess around and search and destroy so you can say, ha, 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 look at what I did in the final kill cam. I don't even know if they have final kill cams like that in search and destroy or if they do play the game still. I don't know how they handle that right now when it comes to search. I haven't played it in so long, man. I kind of miss search and destroy. But again, that's the whole purpose of this. That's literally the whole purpose. It's not even, like I said, enjoyable to hop into a casual match and, just maybe get a cool feed with because it's never going to happen. Realistically, this should be an attachment that not only one hits when you hit someone and get close enough to actually engage with an enemy with this thing, but also it should be your permanent knife. You shouldn't have a secondary knife. You shouldn't be able to, jab or anything like that with a knife. It should literally be your melee. If you hit the melee button, you should automatically rev up this chainsaw. The biggest problem I have with this thing is that if you want to use it, it has to function like an underbarrel. And all the underbarrel attachments you have to toggle to. You can't just have it there and, like I said, hit your melee button and it automatically revs up and you're good to go. No, you have to physically toggle it on, then you rev it up. So it has to be something that you're prepped for. You can't just on the fly decide to turn on the chainsaw and rev it up and get it good. No, you have to know when you want to use it, prep when you want to use it, and play like an absolute little wuss in order to be able to get any kills with this thing. Because the majority of the time that you're going to be able to get work done with it is if you're in a small building, a very small building. There has to be zero range between you and the target because, again, there's no lunge. You have to rev it up before you can even engage, and then you have to walk at them. You can't sprint at them, so it's a nightmare. You have to be in a very closed-up environment. You have to be prepped and good to go. Turn on your underbarrel so you're set and good to go with it, and then set up position and pray to God that their accuracy is horrible because you're not even going to one-hit them. You're going to have to two-hit them. Look, the whole point of this system is to have trade-offs. This needs to be something that's effective. It needs to be useful, but at the same time, it needs to be worth, changing out your underbarrel attachment. I'm thinking to myself, why would I ever replace an attachment that can give me better control over my weapon while I'm firing it for an attachment that literally gives me no benefits whatsoever? I'm weighing out the pros and cons, and there's nothing there. Now, if this thing revved up faster, if it worked like a regular melee weapon, and it's just good to go and can knife really fast with it, I would then consider giving up recoil attachments for this attachment, right? I'll say, well, my gun will have a little bit more kick, but in, up close and personal engagements, I can actually rev this thing up and actually go to town a little bit. So maybe it's worth it on certain maps to give up recoil because this might be helpful. No, there's no thought, no counterplay, any of that stuff when it comes to this attachment. Nothing. Not a single bit because, again, it's useless. And there's no reason to give up recoil control for an attachment that isn't going to put in any work. Think of the throwing knife, for example. If you equip a throwing knife, you can panic knife. So instead of using the butt of your gun to punch someone while your weapon is out and you melee, you actually panic knife like back in the OG days. But it's a trade-off. You have to use a throwing knife as your lethal equipment instead of actually, obtaining something really powerful, like a Semtex, a regular frag, claymores or something like that, a bouncing bed, other extremely useful lethals that are more than likely going to be chosen because they're extremely powerful. You have to give that up in order to obtain, a panic knife by equipping the throwing knife. There's pros and cons, give and takes. There's counterplay. You have to be willing to give something up in order to obtain that. And the same has to be here. You have to be willing to give something up to obtain something good. But if it's not good as the end goal, you're not going to give up anything to go ahead and obtain it. So just one last time before we end off this video, because I want to make sure this video isn't just a complete rant. I want to make sure that I give constructive criticism so it's worth something and I'm not just sitting here, going to go ahead and complain about it. In order to resolve this chainsaw, in my personal opinion, you guys leave your opinions down in the comment section. I first and foremost think that it needs to be a one-shot. It needs to kill with one single swipe. It can't be a two-hit kill item. No, it needs to be a one-hit kill. It needs to replace your melee. So instead of, using an underbarrel and having to toggle it on, if I hit the melee button, it automatically revs up the chainsaw. And with all honesty, that's really it. I'm trying to think of more, but that's literally it. That's all you have to do to make it a more fluent attachment, because right now it is pointless to have. I do not feel confident whatsoever in up-close engagements, not even in the slightest. I much rather, once again, have my knife out, which I can move faster. I can even slide. You can't slide using the chainsaw. You can't navigate and maneuver, and I don't expect them to allow you to do that. Not at all. But like I said, it has to be better than what it is now, because if it's not, people will gladly opt into just using a knife instead. Like, once again, me personally, there's zero use or purpose in putting yourself through this pain for a slight enjoyment factor, which isn't even that fantastic, because again, it takes long as hell to even kill someone with it. So it's not even like a quick satisfaction either. But ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comment section. Let me know if you have unlocked this, specific item here. And what do you think of it? Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's bad? Does it need some work? Whatever you guys think, like I said, leave your comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. As always, if you want to check out some more content just like this, we do indeed post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time, and sometimes we post midday for a double upload. So, of course, if you want to be notified on every last bit of it, hit that notification button. And last but not least, we do go ahead and stream pretty much daily. Not today, but we will be back the next day. But we stream over on Kick, and that usually goes live around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Got a link to that down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.